Patients seeking medical attention at the Mamobi Hospital here in Accra will usually have to wait between 3 to 5 hours before seeing a medical doctor. This is after fighting with health officials over early retrieval of their hospital folders to enable them check their essentials before consulting the doctor.
And then when they come, the doctors won't be around, so they will have to wait maybe for about 5 hours, let me say 12 o'clock, 11 o'clock before doctor.
Now, on the back of recent complaints about medical negligence, especially at public health facilities, Joe News reporter Ya Fusua Jemfi visited the Mamobi Hospital in Accra to observe how things are run on a regular clinic day. Here is what she found out. Now, others who have experienced similar situations told Joy News attending clinic at the Mamobi Hospital is disheartening because the doctors will not be available until midday.
Dear, we are now bread ya, ubebrepa, omonche, doctors in you. Card what James will be bad at Nasa, you see, and who folder. We know mobile constant answer, Ubeyon or card agent. So we are here, we bet that when Jano so crampone as a daughter, just at 12 answer daughter Beba.
Sometimes people do come here around 6 o'clock in the morning, and then when they come, the doctors won't be around, so they will have to wait maybe for about 5 hours, let me say 12 o'clock, 11 o'clock before doctors will come. And even the queue here, when the doctors come, the queue will be too much, so they will have to. When one person goes inside, it's going to take a lot of time before that person comes out.
Was the first now on the food and was the beginning was in conduct, but it's quite no near winning. And yes, I quite enjoy now was your doctor and a paint. I can cry about banana. Oh, yeah. I don't know, but was it or main track? I can maybe I'll be a doctor for now. I was treating him.
And then first time out.
Today is my first time coming here.
But how do you see the place like in terms of attendance?
Oh, actually, say the most receive me when I make a Sunday there is normal. Okay, I like it, but you see, I seen a bit of being a doctor, that's the problem.
The Director of Clinical Services, Roland Ekufo, admits the problem results from the low number of physicians manning the facility against the huge numbers that troop in for treatment.
It's a long patient waiting time because you come to hospital, you have to get the folder, and these things are not computerized, so somebody has to do a physical search for the folder. It's not made. Go from there, you have to move to the nurse's squad table for your vitals to be taken. That could also take some time. And then you are now going to sit and wait to enter the consulting room. Finally, having come out of the consulting, you go into the pharmacy. The doctor in charge is up there, but on the ground, myself and 2 female doctors. So 3 and then physician assistant. Today, this week like this, some are on leave, so the rest of us are managing it. Now that I'm in here, in this program, name is 1 physician assistant and then 1 family health specialist are doing the work. the population is high, and I'll put it still to the low number of prescribers, low number of doctors. And I believe strongly that if we have those numbers, we will do it. I can't say we will eliminate it totally, but at least we will reduce it. We will reduce the patient waiting time.
My name is Stephen Anti, and this is today's big story. Welcome back. We're getting onto the phone lines to get some reactions from the Director General of the Ghana Health Service, Dr. Ebenezer Appiah-Dankyira, and then later on we'll be joined by some other experts who will speak to us about this. So until recently, the Mamobi Hospital used to be a polyclinic. On the line now is Dr. Ebenezer Appiah-Dankyira. Good evening, sir, and welcome to today's big story.
Good evening.
So I was saying that a couple of years ago, the Mamobi Hospital was a polyclinic. So after the upgrade to the status of a hospital, what has changed?
Let me. So what has changed?
Yes, I'm asking, after the upgrade from a polyclinic to a hospital, what has changed at the place?
No, actually, the upgrade was not completed yet. You know, they have some three-story building there, and there was not much money to complete the building. So the building is still standing. So they're operating even under the name of a hospital, but in reality, the admission is not, we don't have many people being admitted.
Right. So let's
the upgrading wasn't completed.
Right. So let's get it right. Mamobi Hospital or Mamobi Polyclinic. If you tell me that the upgrade was not completed, it means it still remains a polyclinic.
Yes, in function.
In function, it still remains a polyclinic. So give us an idea. Typically, if the upgrade had completed, what should we have expected at the Mamobi Hospital?
Yeah, we have expected a lot of admissions. They have added a lot more beds. There will be more doctors. They will have surgical theaters. They will have NICUs. That's a place where we put the babies, premature babies. And then they will have much more facilities. And then doctors and nurses over there.
So those
is a delay that actually caused that.
Okay.
Numbers not being there.
Okay, so give us an idea. Does the Ghana Health Service know the real situation on the ground at Mamobi Hospital?
Yes, maybe you should have run the regional director. She is directly supervising Mamobi in a polyclinic.
Right.
And they know the number, the real situation. We also.
So, I know we have you are the Director General. Do you have any plans of continuing with the upgrade, or perhaps providing a lot more facilities and bringing in a lot more doctors to serve the community in which Mamobi Hospital is?
Yeah, it's been captured under our capital plan. So we expect that it will be upgraded very soon.
Right.
We talked to the minister. We came there. They didn't have water. Water has been provided through the support of some NGOs. And now the plan is to ensure that the whole hospital is completed, so they will have enough walls. Because it's in the middle of Accra, and we actually need hospitals to release the tension of police. So it will be done.
How soon should we expect this? I mean, because the reason we're pushing for these answers is that our understanding is that the Mamobi Hospital covers a very wide area. I mean, from Kokomlemle, Mamobi, Newtown, Rage, and even parts of Legon. So if such a facility in the center of Accra, like it is, lacks the basic facilities needed to operate efficiently in function, then there is a problem.
There is actually. And actually that's what we are facing. You know, Accra is a very big area. And yet if you look at Accra, Mamobi, and they look at, what do you call it, the other side towards Winnipeg area, Dansoman, You don't find anything there. You go to Carnation, it's a small facility. So I think over the years, Ghana, we've actually not planned according to the population growth, and that is why we are suffering.
So this is purely a planning deficiency on the part of the authorities who are expected to plan.
Financial, basically, maybe I think the underlying factor is finance.
Finance.
So now, yes.
So finance on the part of governments, successive governments, or inability of the Ghana Health Service to be effective in mobilization of resources, actually, to operate some of these services.
No, it's government. We depend on government budget for all this construction, and then government is supposed to construct all over the district, the new district, and then the regions and so forth. I think so now the Ghana Health Service or the Minister of Health is looking at the private sector involvement, PPP.
Right.
That if we get private sector, then they could finish the building, and then they either build, operate, and transfer basis or some other arrangement. So that is what we are trying to do for all the facilities.
Right. Dr. Appiah-Dintra, I'll have you hold briefly, and then I'll take this discussion of PPP again when I return to you. I have on the other phone line Sidua Hall, who is the national president of the Coalition of Universal Access to Health. So, Sidua, it's great to have you on today's big story, seeing that we have this problem on our hand, really. I mean, if you look at the fact that Mamobi Hospital covers this the wide area from Kotobabi, Newtown, Ridge, and Legon, Achimota. It's pathetic that patients have to wait to see a doctor 3 to 5 hours.
Thank you very much, and I must agree with you. It's very pathetic, and it is disheartening that right in the heart of Accra, people will have to wait 2 to 3 hours. And mind you, these are people who are in pain already. But then that is a manifestation of the kind of health system we have. Because if right in the heart of Accra, this is what is going on, can you imagine what is happening at the periphery, the remote and hard-to-reach community? Because I know of a place like Sabuba Chirifone. We have one medical doctor there, and he attends to the entire population in the district there. If she travels outside the district, then you don't have a doctor there. In Tumu, in the Upper West region, I know of the same situation, and in so many other districts. Now, I heard the other person, he said this is basically a problem of the government. I do agree, the government will have to invest more in terms of expanding health infrastructure, equipping health infrastructure, and training more human resources. But currently, on the issue of the human resource, that is particularly medical doctors, I want to lay the blame squarely in the hands of the Ghana Health Service.
Why? I mean, why would you blame the Ghana Health Service for such a crisis?
The reason is that there is concentration of trained medical doctors in the cities, Accra, Kumasi, etc. If you take the example of the Mamobi app, when you go out to the rural area, you have very few of them. It is their responsibility to make sure that they post them to every part of the country. How come that over the years they have not been able to do that? They post some people, they refuse posting, and they find their way back into the cities, and yet they get their salary. So on that, I would put the blame squarely on the
let me get it right, because we still have the Director General of the Ghana Health Service online, Dr. Ebenezer Appiah-Dintra. You are saying that the Ghana Health Service has over the years been concentrating doctors in big cities like Accra and Kumasi, leaving out remote areas. Now these doctors end up still taking their salaries and they are not working. I need to get that clarity so I can get him to respond. No, I'm still speaking to Sidua Hall. Sidua, you're saying, you're blaming the Ghana Health Service, and I want to put the issue to the Director General to respond.
Absolutely.
But I need you to clarify. You are saying that they should take some of the blame because they concentrate doctors in Accra and Kumasi. How does that become a problem?
They have failed to distribute the doctors even into the rural area, because you have many of them in the cities, and yet when you go to some of the districts outside the cities, in the remote area, you may have no medical doctor, or you may have only one doctor there. And yet when you come to the facilities in the cities, you have majority of the medical doctors there. We know that the number of medical doctors are not up to they are not enough. But the numbers we have, if we should distribute them well, it should be enough to at least give a reasonable numbers in the facilities outside Accra.
Right. So, Sidwa, I'll have you briefly hold, because this is a very critical issue. I need to get a response from the Ghana Health Service. So, Dr. Apia Dentra, if you heard Sidwa Hall is public health expert. Now, he's blaming the Ghana Health Service for, one, your failure to evenly or fairly distribute doctors to the relevant...
That he's saying this. He's not blaming. I mean, sometimes you use such words and then you find that you don't get appropriate results. Just say that that is his observation.
Okay. So you don't feel that the Ghana Health Service should take responsibility for failing to fairly distribute doctors to where they're most needed? And then you concentrate...
I don't understand your question. Is it Mamobi that do not have doctors for the periphery? Because we started by saying that Mamobi don't have. So you clarify that for me.
Right. So what we are saying is that Mamobi do not have doctors. And the problem of lack of doctors to a place like Mamobi, Sidwa Hall is saying...
And that is the center of the Accra. And so if you say that Accra, people are concentrated here and they are not at the periphery, then which exactly...
Yeah, but what he was trying to say was that, I mean, your inability to fairly distribute means that you concentrate more doctors in specific areas who, some of them don't do their work even well. So on the national front, perhaps you're not doing well with distribution of doctors across the country, not only in Mamobi Polyclinic or Mamobi Hospital.
So you change your idea that he's saying that it's not Accra that is concentrated. But you start by talking about Mamobi, and then you went around talking about Tumu and others. Okay, let me tell you about distribution of doctors.
Right. Doctors
complete and they send outside. A lot of them do not go there. But when they don't go there, they don't receive salaries.
Okay.
So this year, quite a number of them are not receiving salary. But we have doctors in such the type we've trained. They are not the type of people who will easily go to places, I mean, without any incentive. And the incentive has to be provided by, I mean, the same force. That is why it's good that we've got schools in the north, Tamale, we've got schools in Kumasi, and we've got schools in Accra. So now we make sure that, I mean, horizontally we spread the doctors, and now there's a school in Cape Coast.
Right.
So now it's going to settle the equity issue. Otherwise, when people stay in Accra, grow up in Accra, and go to school in Accra, we send them up. A lot of them are resigning. So there are so many people actually not working in the public sector, because if you check up at the Minister of Finance, you realize that those who are posted and do not go, their names are off the payroll. So you see them around. It doesn't mean that Ghana Health Service is paying them.
Okay.
That's why I say that assertion, you have to make sure that you say that it's observation, but you should not say that I'm blaming people for the fact that it doesn't happen.
Right. Okay, that's very fair. So, Sidwa Hall, I'm sure you're listening to Dr. Apia Dintra's argument that... Yeah, sure.
I disagree with him entirely. The training schools in the north and other parts don't necessarily put the doctors or the nurses when they complete there. There's a central point in Accra. That's where they do the posting. Right. The UBS medical students, when they complete, the university does not put the doctors there. And it is a fact. They doesn't have a minute. Over time, we have, as we talk today, we have majority of the trained doctors concentrated in the cities. They put them.
But Sidwa, I understand what you're saying, but look, the issue is that when we started a discussion with Mamobi, we mentioned particularly that Mamobi lacked doctors, and so Mamobi is in the heart of Accra. So if you're talking about fair distribution of doctors and that doctors are concentrated in Accra, then like Dr. Apia Dintra is saying, then your analysis is unfair, because Accra is supposed to get more doctors, Mamobi Hospital is supposed to get more doctors.
No, he's getting it wrong, because why is it that they have sat there and then we don't have doctors at Mamobi? It is not because Accra doesn't have medical doctors, because of the failure of supervision and making sure that they move. You see, so if you use the Mamobi case to say that because they are not medical doctors are not concentrated in Accra, that's why Mamobi has not gone. That is entirely false. That would be a dishonesty. It's a fact that most of the doctors are, and look today, if they need, they can bring more doctors from other facilities in Accra with unnecessary movement, and they will be able to sort the Kolego thing out. So you shouldn't try to use the Kolego thing to deny a fact that they are trying to, a problem they are trying to solve. That is very wrong, and that is dishonesty.
Right.
Okay? If they do that for this very well, they'll be able to take.
Right, Sidwa. Sidwa, just you know yeah, right. I think Dr.
You call people crossfire like that, I wouldn't like it again. If I see this man and then he has his facts and he says that this hospital has this number, they see this number of cases,
right,
and so forth, I have this and that, then I will agree with you. I'm not for using words like dishonesty, that kind of thing. I don't like that.
That's right. We understand. Now, let's shift to the issue of PPP, the private-public partnership.
Can you call it off and then you call me next time, please?
Right, Dr. Apia Denchira, obviously Director General of the Ghana Health Service. So, Sidwa Hall, if you're there, Dr. Apia Denchira doesn't take kindly to some allegations of dishonesty and others that you've raised. But let's move on. He raised key issues about funding, that some of the challenges facing these hospitals result from lack of funding. And then he mentioned expressly that there was consideration for public-private partnership to improve funding for hospitals in the country. Do you think this is an effective way of addressing some of the infrastructural lapses or challenges facing our public hospitals?
Yeah, I do believe that the private sector has a great role to play in the health delivery of this country. I do know that under the National Health Insurance Scheme, we've had a number of private providers that are already doing great work. When you talk of, for example, the Christian Health Association of Ghana, their hospitals are doing a great job across the country, and we have a number of accredited facilities, including maternity home. Certainly, the private sector has a role to play. But what government would need to be mindful of is to ensure that they do not do this at the expense of the public sector. You know, public sector facilities cannot on any day just get up and say they are not going to provide services to the population. A private businessman can decide to say, okay, on this day, based on this, because I'm not satisfied with this, I'm not going to see your client. So I do know that the International Finance Corporation is supporting the Ministry of Health to develop a policy framework and an operational plan to facilitate the public-private partnership agreement. And I do also know that they co-sponsored a summit on public-private partnerships, and they're also trying to work with Kolebu also to establish a public health private partnership unit. So in all this, yes, the role of private sector in healthcare delivery is key. But one observation is that you don't have most of the private partners starting their health facilities outside the cities. The reason is simple. They want to start their facilities where there are populations with people with more money so that they can make more money. Government takes care of everybody. And that's the reason why in such a partnership, government must negotiate a suitable balance, ensuring that in such a partnership, the public sector facilities will not be of disadvantage.
So, I mean, are there no other means by which, for example, the National Health Insurance Scheme, can the National Health Insurance Scheme not be used as a conduit to provide funding, to expand hospital facilities and retrain? I mean, can they not be a source of funding to feed hospitals that are lacking from central government funds?
Absolutely right. And our campaign over the years has said that, look, the National Health Insurance Scheme is the best thing that has happened to this country, and that we must do everything possible to make sure that it works. What we have said over time needs to be done is to try to look at the model again and try to review the financing model. You know, we have three streams of revenue: the VAT contributions, the national social security contributions, and that of the annual premium from the informal sector. Over time, revenue from the informal sector annual premium has been very low because we don't have a lot of people registering, and the mechanism of getting them to really contribute has been very difficult. And so we have proposed that, look, health is very, very important. Without good health, the economy cannot move. So why don't we use innovative approaches to raise money? One thing we have proposed is that since there are a lot of people using mobile phones, we have roughly 28 million people of all the mobile phone companies, 28 million subscribers in Ghana. So let's say if we have to take, for example, each person using a mobile phone will have to pay 2.5 Ghana cedis a year. Considering that the exchange rate of the cedi to the dollar is about $1 to 2 cedis. If you multiply that by 28, that you are going to get like $28 million.
Right.
In addition to the revenue, alternatively, we said that okay, we can also use the same RTT and mobile phone platform to raise more money.
Right.
On daily basis, for each person that will make a call, you pay 15%, and that will go to our electronic wallet. That is even going to raise much more money. And this one, you're not going to spend money trying to collect like the premium. So the cost of raising that money is going to be very less. It's going to be more efficient. And then on daily basis, you are going to have an electronic wallet that will give you a lot of money. In addition to this traditional, the sources we have, and then plus progressive taxation. We have said over time, property rate is not collected in this country. It is an area that is not exploited. We should be able to raise a lot of money. We know the economy at the moment is suffering.
Right.
And so it might not be the best time to introduce that. But we know that the economy will pick up. When the economy does too, we need to properly tax the extractive industry, the mining company. Environmental tax is one thing that is not really exploited. A lot of damage is being done to the environment, and we are not taxing. We need to tax and bring all these. All the developed countries that we see that are doing well, they try based on tax. And we should be able to implement this progressive taxation. Alcoholic beverages do a lot of damage to our health. We need to be able to properly tax these alcoholic beverages as well and bring the money back to our health envelope. And with all this properly managed, we should be able to have enough revenue to expand our health infrastructure through human resources and provide equipment for the health facilities.
Thank you very much, Sidua Hall. We're grateful that you could make time for us. Sidua is the national president of the Coalition for Universal Access to Health. And then we're also joined on the line by Dr. Ebenezer Appiah-Denchua, who is the Director General of the Ghana Health Service. My name is Stephen Enti. That's how we wrap for today's big story. We'll be right back with the Interactive. Stay with us. Welcome back. It's time for the Joy News Interactive segment. And Marian Turi, what's up?
Ade, how are you?
A day for you.
Thank God it's Friday, huh?
It is Friday, baby.
It is Friday, baby.
Yeah.
Why are you taking me?
You know, oh, I'm not taking you anywhere.
Why?
Oh, you want trouble?
But have you heard the story that very soon your son, if he's in SSS, will start getting condoms from government for free?
I will seize those condoms.
Really?
Oh, really?
So you're one of those parents who say,
Well, I mean, I've done a lot of HIV work, so I support that. But we need to get the basics of doing sex education from home. You know, that the children get more comfortable with it. But if they don't get any sex education from home and they just suddenly go to school and they get condoms,
right?
Like, who do I use this for?
Of course.
Do I use it to drink rice porridge or fruit juice, you know? Anyway, so what's up?
So then it will be a multi-pronged approach for you to say that, okay, it has to be home and then the school as well. Fantastic. Wow. Welcome to JN Interactive, and my name is Marian Toure. If you're just joining us, welcome. This is JN Interactive within today's big story, and we are talking about condoms for, children as young as 14. Would you want government to give your 14-year-old condoms? Well, we will delve into it, but I'd like to announce all the social media tools that you need to get in touch with the show. It's Joy News. I am at multitvworld.com for, if you're sending us, all the messages, because I'm seeing that most of your messages for some things about the show are coming through that platform as well, so send it there. But facebook.com/joynewsontv, that is where you can find us. Like our page and comment on all the posts that we put there, and then we'll share it with the rest of the world. And we tweet at Joy News on TV. Remember to use the hashtag JoyInteractiveGH so that we'll be able to sort all of them out at once. I am on Twitter too. You would find me at MN Ture, and our WhatsApp number is 0260-518-801. And as we say here, JN Interactive is where tech meets news to set the agenda. So today something is trending, and so we're talking about it. And to reduce the spread of HIV and AIDS, the South African government chose simply to distribute condoms among students. It will shock you, though, to know that South Africa has close to 6.4 million HIV-positive people living within that country, and this is more than any other country. But still, after the distribution, the South African government says that there is a decline in the use of condoms, and they are really, really worried about it. According to the SA Health Minister, the decline of the usage in condoms may be, and it's in quote, that the standard issued choice condom just isn't cool enough. And that story is trending on social media, and I'm hoping that that can also, you know, be on your screen right now so that we'll all go through it together. And also to ask you whether you would actually feel comfortable giving, you know, someone at school, giving your child a condom because they're thinking that they're trying to educate them. So if you haven't seen it, there is the story that is trending across all the other platforms, and we are also talking about it. They conducted a survey, and the South Africa's Human Sciences Research Council showed the rate of people with HIV has risen from 10.6% in 2008 to 12.2% in 2012. Wow. And what they're saying is that this is actually because, like I was saying to you, new infections and other successfully extended antiretroviral treatment program. That is what the report is saying is causing that. And so that is a story that is trending on social media, and we have also picked it up. And so we are talking about it here on JN Interactive, that the Ghanaian government also wants to introduce this here in Ghana. And what do you think about that? Would you want your child to have condoms? And that apparently is supposed to start next academic year, and that government has actually obtained sufficient funds from a Japanese grant to begin implementing this by next academic year. And if you're a parent at home, we are asking, is this the best way to tackle the HIV menace in this country? What are your thoughts on it? And share them with us on our social media platforms, and we will amplify your voice by sharing it with the rest of the world. And we are actually now trying to reach one of our colleagues who is actually an advocate and a journalist, Peter Senyere, who is very, very passionate about the health issues on the line, particularly when it comes to HIV and AIDS on the line, so that we can pick his brain on the matter and ask if he actually thinks, being someone who deals with HIV advocates and speaks about it and amplifies that issue in the media waves, does he actually think it is the best way to go? And whether, if he is a parent actually, whether he will give his children condoms. So I'll try and then re-establish contact with him, and then we'll solicit all of these answers from him via Skype. And you know, this is where tech meets news to set the agenda, and technology can fail at any time, so the call keeps dropping. So I think we probably should try calling him via phone and then speak to him and pick his brain on that. But if you're just joining us, the South African government says that in a survey, it actually started distributing condoms to, you know, school pupils just to stop the spread of HIV. And Ghana, well, obviously, if there's a success story, we would also want to share in it. So Ghanaians want to share in the South African story. And so government has secured funds from a Japanese grant to actually start giving condoms to SSS students, senior high schools, you know, students, so that at least they arm themselves. It is better to protect yourself, you know, than to actually get infected. Is this the way forward? We'll take a quick breather here whilst I try to establish contact with Peter, and then we can ask for his view on the subject. Please don't go away. Welcome back. We're still trying to establish contact with Peter on Skype, but today Sarah actually has been around town and she's been asking your view on the issue. Let's go and take our video blog.
South Africa is set to distribute flavored and colored condoms to its youth in order to reduce a spate of HIV/AIDS in the country. Ghana is also set to distribute condoms to SHS students in order to help fight this canker. Is this the way to go? If not, what do you propose that we do in order to help fight this disease?
Okay, I think the distribution of condoms is a bit going to solve the problem, but you know, Ghanaians are like, the condom doesn't make them feel sex. So no matter how hard government will try to, you know, prevent sexually transmitted infections, it's still going to be there because a lot of people enjoy sex raw, as you know, our local people do say. So I think it's going to solve the problem halfway, but not in its entirety.
Providing condom for senior high school students is going to promote sexual activities, which personally I am not a go-go for. I believe that we should train our children morally to a certain stage. Most of them in senior high school are barely 15, 14 and 16. And I think sexual activity should begin at the age of 18, where you can decide what is good for you and what is not. If you encourage the children to abstain from sex till at least the age of 16, I think there will be reduction in these sexually transmitted diseases. Yeah. So for me, I am not too much of the idea of government providing condom for senior high school students. But then you would tell me some people cannot abstain. So 50-50 they should be given. But then I still don't go for it.
Yes and no. Yes, on the fact that it's going to somehow reduce the rate at which HIV spreads within the youth. You know, this is the age pattern where normally the youth normally goes in for sex. You understand? And no, on the fact that it's going to raise the rate at which sexual activities goes on within the youth. And you know, most of them don't take the mentality on the normal basis, on the good basis, on the good aspect, but they take it on the negative aspect. You know, they do a lot of unusual things, girls get pregnant and all that. But in our Ghanaian society, I would say, you know, here we are not really highly educated about sex. So we do a lot of unusual things, so I wouldn't say it should be done.
I don't want to believe the government is trying to promote sex at school, because if they do that and someone gets pregnant, maybe a lady gets pregnant, the guy will force the lady to abort the pregnancy, and I don't think it's the best, and it can even lead the girl not to conceive in the nearby future. So I think in our language we say oya akwalaya de akwalaya. They should organize seminars for those cases, rather to educate them on how to stop this kind of sex things at school. That would be a better policy other than giving out condoms and other things. So I disagree with that policy of the government.
Okay, I'll completely say it's no. And me hearing it is very whimsical because no, why should they distribute condoms to the SHS students? It ain't good. Is it that we are adapting modernity or we're sticking to the modernization theory? Sometimes we have to be idiosyncratic, you understand? We can't just be copying blindly on what the whites are doing by sharing condoms, because if you give them condoms, they'll be complacent. They'll have this, you know, ability that, okay, people are backing me, especially the government is backing me. He has supplied me with condoms, so I can go about doing everything. But condom doesn't prevent HIV/AIDS on the 100% scale. It can get burst. So in anything there is a side effect. So I would say it's a completely no decision. They shouldn't give it to the SHS student. I suggest they educate them. Abstinence is the key. They should abstain. They should know that it's a natural feeling. It will come by, you know, abstinence is the best key. Yeah, that's what I propose.
Well, I think it's a good idea. And first of all, we are trying to liberate the teenage pregnancy and things. So if you give condom to the younger ones, that means you are encouraging teenage pregnancy, because surely they would use it and some will misuse it, or even with a condom they'll still get pregnant. So
I don't think it's a good idea. Instead of using the money for condoms, they can use it for something different.
I don't think it's the right thing to do, because if giving them the condoms, it will rather encourage them to have sex. It will promote immortality amongst the students, because they think, okay, they have the condom, so they can do anything, which is very bad. To prevent the teenage pregnancy or something, they should rather give them teachings, maybe put it in books, give them teachings, what to do, the effects, the problem afterwards. I mean, something, but the condoms, no.
Welcome back, and I have a reproductive health expert on the line, and he's in the person of Dr. Jehu Appiah to share his knowledge on the issue with us. Hello, good evening, Doc.
Good evening, how are you?
Fine, thank you. How are you doing too?
Fine, thank you.
I know you are a parent, and is this a healthy way to distribute condoms to SHS students?
I think we have reached this stage for distributing condoms to SHS students because of the fact that we have failed in our sexuality education. There's something called age-appropriate sexuality education that's failed in our schools. I think because of that, living the reality of today, we need to, protect the children. I do school education, school sexuality education, and what is happening in schools is frightening. Children on the age of 16, the laws in Ghana allow sex only after 16 years.
Right.
Don't let us kid ourselves. People are having sex big time and get pregnant and illegally or unsafely aborted. That's in schools. So I think that, instead of just solving it from one direction, that, condom to children in school, which I think, because of the moral society has failed us, we can do that, but also intensify sexuality education in schools. When the children know about sexuality education, I think they delay their sexual debut and, or be responsible for whatever they do. So, and if the laws in Ghana remain the same, that before you are 16, you shouldn't have sex, then of course, what are the age ranges that we are talking about? Is it under 16, above 16? And are we promoting illegality and going against what the Ghana law states?
Right.
Or what is happening here? So there are lots of questions. I think we need to properly discuss this with all stakeholders to understand that this reality happens in our schools. I went to schools in the central region, and believe me, what is happening is frightening. And I think that that's also in the eastern region as well. I've done, eastern region and central region, almost covered most schools. And it's so real that we need to protect our children.
So
what I advocate, sorry.
Should I infer from what you're saying is that there's nothing wrong, we're not sending any wrong signals here?
You're not sending the wrong signals, but I think that on the flip side, let's intensify sexuality, age-appropriate sexuality education, so that children will know when to say no. We know sex happens sometimes when we're ill-prepared.
Right.
And, we are young human beings, and I'm not talking about the ideal situation. The real situation is now, sex is happening in school. So we need to, start it as pilots and see if that will prevent what is happening now in our schools. It's so frightening.
When you talk about age appropriate and right, shouldn't we then be turning our minds more to the universities and other tertiary institutions? Because when we look at, let's say, the Ghanaian the stages for going to school, you start primary 1 from, let's say, age 6. So by the time you hit, let's say, JHS, you're in your teens.
Yeah, you see, I think if we concentrate on university, we would have lost the battle.
Okay.
We thought that, those in university would need a sexuality education. But believe me, starts quite early. Even in the JSS, you are even looking at SHS. Even the JSS were having sex, to be honest with you. So those days when we were talking about HIV and all that, thought that there was a window of hope. This time it has come down to 8 years. You don't believe that done by Alliance for Reproductive Health and Rights, children at 8 years, 9 years, 10 years, 11 years are having sex.
Right.
In my record, in my office, 12-year-old girls are having abortion. What can we do to protect such girls and these vulnerable kids? But let me add that all these girls who are having sex with older men. And if it's illegal, we can talk to these girls and know who is making them pregnant.
Right.
But coming back to the topic, I think that because the moral society has failed in promoting abstinence, moral society has failed in making sure that these girls are not having sex or the boys are not having sex. We need to also clean up what's happening in our schools now. So I don't see anything wrong in distributing condoms, but continue with education so that at least they can delay their debut, sexual debut.
Right. Then we would need a multi-pronged approach, wouldn't we, from the home and then the school together?
Approach. That's right.
Okay. Thank you so much for sharing those insights with us.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. And I'll go to social media now and take some of your comments that I've been dropping in. But I have Peter standing by. He's made it into the studio with us, and we would have a chat with him to pick his brains on that. And the precursor, it's been said that the condoms, we will start. Ghana would also start distributing condoms, and this is the way forward to tackle HIV and AIDS. So many comments have dropped in, and Kofi says, why not? The government sharing its from house to house, so the government want to promote sexual intercourse among secondary school children. Is that the best? Cephas just says, funny. Haruna says, are you saying that sex is legalized in our secondary schools among students? Stop it. Well, sex, I don't think there is a prohibition on sex for anybody, but it's just that we're trying to protect our young brothers and sisters, because whether you give them condoms or not, whatever they want to do, like Doc said, they will do it. And it's staggering to know that children as young as 9 and 10 are actually having sex, and not with themselves, not with their peers, but with older men. Osebonsu says it is a step in the right direction. Many are those who feel shy to go to the pharmacy shops to buy condoms. If the government has taken it upon itself to distribute condoms for free, it's a big plus on the part of government. Nice. I get where you are also coming from. So I'll pause here, and Peter is in the studio with me, and we will talk about it. He is very, very passionate about it. Hello, Pete. How are you?
I'm doing good.
Welcome to the studio.
Thank you very much.
And it really amazes me that some people are saying that this is a bad thing. What is your view on it?
Well, talking bad itself is relative in my way of thinking. But if you look at the use of condoms, for instance, what do we hope to achieve? Okay, if you look at the ABC approach to fighting HIV, because that's the larger picture. We want to stop STDs and HIV.
Okay.
So if condom is one of the ways of doing that. I really don't see what the big deal is about handing it over to. As Doc just said, he has done research
right.
and it's based on evidence that I haven't done. But from what he said, if people are doing at age 12, 13 and whatnot, if you refuse to give them that protective cover that they need, you are only condemning them to death or to HIV and other sexually transmitted diseases.
Right. So as a parent, you would advocate giving your...
Oh, absolutely.
Wow.
You know, if a child is at home, probably you may be able to keep an eye on him or her. In school, all sorts of things happen. In the school, outside school, and as Doc said, it's adult men who come in there to harvest the young girls and then do all sorts of things with them. We cannot be sure of the HIV status of those people. They are in control. The men are in control and we dictate to the young girl what should be done. So I think that if it comes to condom distribution for boys as well as girls, they should be giving condoms in schools.
Thank you so much, my brother.
My pleasure.
And you have heard it. The jury is out. Everybody seems to agree on that. Let's take some more comments that are dropping in on social media. Abdul says, is the government trying to promote sex in the secondary schools or what? Why not get them something good to enhance their education? Kuma Sinam says, I think it's the best way. We, the youth of today, are not afraid of anything anymore. So if that's the only option, why not? Julia says, oh, secondary school? Well, yes, secondary school, you heard it right. Abdul Kudas says, nowadays, up-and-coming youth always want it skin to skin. Okay. They're not going to use the government should change it to something else. Okay. Martin Dubotre says, I think it should be shared among all Ghanaians, but not only SHS students. Okay. Lydia says, oh, Ghana, condoms in SHS, then aggression will be more. Stop it. Or in 2 years to come, there won't be any virgins in Ghana. Wow, nice. And that is where we ended for today. Steve is back so that we will wrap up together.
Hey, you were smiling and giggling. What was that about?
You don't want me to smile and giggle?
Okay, no, not when I came here. Right, so stories you should expect at 8 with Israelite to equip its officers to enhance crime fighting. The Ashanti Regional Police Command is planning to deploy a lot more personnel on motorbikes. The two-wheelers the command believes will prove more useful in the pursuit of criminals, many of whom now use motorbikes.
Also to expect in news at 8, the General Secretary of the MPP, hopeful General Secretary of the MPP, Kwabena Ejapong, is appealing to the rank and file of the party to disregard recent text messages, suggesting his camp does not have the interests of the MPP at heart.
Well, so those are the stories you should expect, and don't forget, Clean Communities is starting, and
right, and it's our new baby here on Joy News.
Baby.
And as always, we bring you cutting edge, the best in live shows.
That's
and
right.
Nia Akrofi is standing by to bring you the first.
Nia Akrofi Smart Abbey.
Mr. NASA is standing by to give you the maiden edition of Clean Community.
Clean Community. So that's how we wrap today's big story and Joy News Interactive. My name is Stephen Anti.
And my name is Marian Toure. Have a fabulous weekend. Do enjoy the rest of our programs.
Good evening.
Good evening.